All right, welcome to yet another episode of the CapmLew podcast with me, your host, CapmLew, and your co-host,
Luke,
There we are, Lou and Luke, CapmLew podcast. We're doing this thing.
let's do it.
It's been a minute.
It hasn't been that long. We
So
accidentally didn't do one day.
we didn't. That's it.
I think it was just one day we missed.
Aren't we usually Tuesday, Thursday?
We are, but we tried. Tuesday you were working, and then yesterday it didn't work for reasons, and then today it is working. So
I'll take it.
I'll take it too.
I have zero complaints. Although the amount of just sheer feedback we've been getting has burdened me to keep the rhythm going. And Luke's laughing because we don't get a whole lot of feedback, but we got some.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
I thought you were totally being facetious.
I'm not. We actually had a listener reach out and tell us, I don't listen to any skateboarding podcasts except yours, and yours is hardly ever about skateboarding.
Yeah,
or barely about skateboarding.
Good for us, man.
And it's ironic because it came in conjunction with me experiencing a podcast, the Mostly Skateboarding podcast.
Yep.
I was listening to the Mostly Skateboarding podcast, and I thought, well, theirs is mostly skateboarding, but ours is barely skateboarding.
Maybe we should have done barely skateboarding podcast.
It could have. You know what? That ship has sailed.
It really has.
That ship has sailed.
It has.
So here we are, for what it's worth, CapmLew podcast, unapologetically named after yours truly, CapmLew.
Get it.
As in Albano. Perhaps Sweet Lou as in Dunbar.
Yeah.
Old boxer.
Yeah.
BITD back in the day.
Yeah.
We've got the Facebook Live over here, and we've got the
Spotify
up on the top.
Got it.
I'm very happy that we're over on Spotify now.
Me too.
It would not serve anyone well for us to allow our listeners to forget that every episode is brought to you by Life Skateboards.
Indeed.
Life Skateboards. Look, almost every skateboard deck in the world is made with hands at one point or another.
Allegedly.
But Life Skateboards have hand care and attention to detail.
Yes.
Even including the rolling of the glue.
Yes.
Now, a well-known and seminal pro of the 90s once proclaimed quite publicly that if it's not pressed by machine with glue rolling and proper hydraulic technologies, then it's garbage.
That's why I respect their opinions so much, because they're so intelligent. You know what I mean?
Well, I have to say that if this hand care, individual care to the product, even from the rolling of the glue, if this is garbage, then I am a garbage man.
I'm a garbage man, baby.
I am a garbage man. And something I learned about the garbage man.
Yeah.
I'm one of those kids who grew up and was warned, if you don't go to college, you're going to wind up being a garbage man.
Okay.
Those guys have a boat on the lake.
Yeah, they make hella money. And they usually work like 4 days a week because they work for a municipality.
I'm saying.
Dude, they're kind of like a dream job. Yeah.
So
we've been lied to.
Since I am, in regard to 1990s epic skateboarding's mayors of places.
Yes.
Since I'm a garbage man. You know what else about garbage men?
Yeah.
They are men of the people.
Yes. Have you ever watched those videos of the little kids who always go outside and like wait for the garbage men to come, and it's like so endearing?
I'm saying
they're like the burliest, gnarliest dudes. They're like down on one knee, like talking to a little kid.
Maybe Life Skateboards ought to proudly capitalize on this with a new Life Skateboards. We are garbage men.
We are garbage men. Yes.
You know,
groundbreaking.
Maybe Life Skateboards is taking out the trash by providing a real right contrast, not only of the quality of the decks, but also the value of their relationship to their customers.
It's true.
where else can you complain to to your skateboard maker
Yeah.
that your concaves are too deep and have them respond by turning your complaint into ad copy? I'm telling you,
You just don't get that service
you just
anywhere else.
don't get that kind of connection, you know? So I got to tell you, I am more excited about Life Skateboards every week that we do the podcast because the decks are just great. And
Yes.
I went skateboarding the other day.
Yes.
I enjoyed it so much
You wanted to go again?
that I am considering doing it again.
Dude, dang it.
I went out, and so I think well, today we're going to talk about the Mostly Skateboarding podcast's, I think, most recent episode.
I think so.
Yes. We promise that we will poke good-natured fun at the bunt the whole way through.
Yes.
We will also ask questions like, Vans, what are you doing? And things like this along the way. So we're going to talk about the Mostly Skateboarding podcast latest one. And we're not doing this just about mostly skateboarding. We're not podcasting about podcasting, but one of our listeners sent a comment to us that I want to incorporate into that topic. Another topic we're going to expound upon is going to be the Powell Dagron wheels.
Yes.
I am going to speak to. I learned that from the White House press secretary.
I'd like to speak to
I'm
that.
going to speak to
Yeah.
Powell Dagron wheels. That means I'm going to address it as a topic. That's what I learned that speak to means.
Yeah.
All right. Next thing on there is going to be dropping my pen, finding it again.
Perfect.
And the last one was going to be, I was going to talk about Gifted Hater for a second. I feel I did two things. Okay, so we're going to talk about Gifted Hater, and we're going to continue to poke good-natured fun at the bunt.
Yes, of course.
Those will be fell swoop, because I hired some secret shoppers to allow me to watch them watch them.
Yes.
So I had a little bit of a viewing party. So you're along for the ride.
Yeah, I'm down, man. Let's do this thing.
You've been busy.
I'm buckling in.
You've been busy.
I have been. It's fine.
Luke is adjusting to first-time parenthood. So some respectal to Luke and to his dear one and their little one.
Yes.
Because that's kind of a big deal.
It is.
Anybody who endeavors to enter into that fray is going to have a bit of a time of it. So.
Yes.
All right. So let's start with an easy one. Powell Dagron wheels.
Yeah. How were they? I mean, you told me, but I want them to. Yeah,
so here's how it goes. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, okay, I bought these wheels. I showed them on the podcast in the package. I talked about how I liked Powell.
Yeah.
Then I found out, was it you who told me? One of my sources told me that Powell no longer makes their maple line in America.
That was BL.
Yep, that was old BL, our secret source. So
covert.
It will be referred to as BL for the time being. However, definitely go check out his podcast and stuff. Was he got a podcast?
He does, but I think it's like
is the sound of crinkling paper or something. It's it's the
like
sound
an
of
NPR.
crickets.
Yeah,
he is the Ira Glass of skateboard podcasting. Bob Lofton.
Yes, BL, baby.
A true treasure of American skateboarding.
He's so high class. He has a podcast that he does kind of mostly for himself, and he just shares the link with certain people. He's a spectacle to behold.
Don't go listen
to whatever you do.
Do it.
Do not without explicit permission.
Check your inbox and see if you've been invited. Hint, you haven't.
You have not been.
Okay, it's an exclusive club. You're not in it. Are we in it?
Accidentally, I think we fell in.
Oh,
it's because of the amount of respect.
Yes, welcome to the CapmLew podcast, where we are members of the exclusive Bob Lofton listening club.
We're now going to turn off the episode so we can discuss the podcast.
So, boy, we love Bob Lofton, and
true that.
So I got me a set of these Powell Dagron wheels.
Yes.
I've been riding Bones SPF 86Bs forever. That's the skate park formula, the original 86B.
Mm-hmm.
They now have an 84B B scale.
Of course. For
the listeners, I will now break down all the intricacies of the hardness scales. There's an A scale, there's a B scale, 99 101A, 86. I don't know what the street tech formulas are.
I don't know, dude.
They're harder than an 86B. So that's all I know there. I've exhausted. I haven't exhausted my knowledge, but I have exhausted my willingness
to talk about
what's. My gosh, you can go on Ben DeGrosse and you can listen to him go on, and up to 85% of what he's saying is correct. That's a good ratio.
No, that's fine.
Not a bad ratio.
You did good.
That's not a bad ratio.
And go.
All right. So our recording got squeebly on us.
We don't want to talk about it.
No, we don't.
Point on the iPhone. Anyway, it's fine.
Okay, so it's there.
Yes, got it.
All right, I just want to talk about the Powell Dagron wheels.
Go ahead.
I put them in with a set of bearings.
New bearings?
New bearings.
Okay, what kind of bearings? Really quick, I just am wondering.
GMNs.
Oh.
GMNs. Old school 1980s, new old stock GMN bearings. German.
Okay.
Right? They were not the greatest bearing in the world. It's not like $150 set of bones.
Yeah, sure.
Ceramic that contains the dead souls of Japanese kanji and all the things, you know.
Dude, yeah.
An Oni spirit has breathed a curse of speed upon them. None of that. So there I am, right?
Okay.
I use a bearing press. I put everything together.
You got the bearing press in the truck?
Yeah. Dude, the truck's going in the shop.
Praise
the truck is going in the shop. The Suburbalac.
Yeah, which is still slowly killing its own transmission.
The clot. No, man, real bad. Real bad. It started to just drop out. I was pulling out of Batesville.
And it was like,
I had my young friend with me in the car.
Yeah.
Young guy. And we're there and we're pulling out and you're like, and
you're like, oh.
And then I let off everything and I just went and I said, well, we might be getting a tow truck.
Yeah, great.
So he's like my nephew.
Yeah.
And he's in the passenger seat. And so, I was like, well, looks like we're gonna get a tow truck, but that's part of being a grown-up is you start to get comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I guess I know what I'm doing today. So he's having the pep talk.
Good.
Because he's prone to stress.
Yeah. So
he does what any worry-wart, prone to stress kid will do. He conks out and goes to sleep with his hat bent up in the seatbelt, and I just powered on home.
Heck
and it was, it was like the torque converter is grabbing and then letting go.
Yes,
grabbing and then letting go.
Yeah, it's like, am I helping?
Before I drove home from Batesville, I put these dragon wheels on my board. I get over to Batesville. Yeah. I've skated Batesville about 4 times.
Okay,
and
4 times.
You know where the coffin graphic. The coffin graphic tombstone is.
Yeah, it's in
How many feet to the wedge wally?
Oh, probably
100?
125.
125 feet.
My guess.
Now, so when I drop in off that, you've watched me do that, and then
yeah.
I'll go and do the wedge wally, right?
Yeah.
How many pushes does a guy do? Pretty much as many as he can fit.
Yeah. I mean, depends. Yeah, it depends on
3.
The speed. Yeah, maybe
4. I can
4
fit
is
in.
a little heavy. Maybe
I have done 4 and I've hit the wedge wall. Right?
Yeah.
I drop in, right? So I throw 2 good kicks,
and
I'm like, whoa, because I'm going way too fast.
Yeah, you'll have that, dude.
No, way too
like
fast.
Wickedly fast, right?
I'm going way too fast on 2 light pushes off of the drop in.
Yeah,
that's unheard of. I could do 4 full power kicks.
Yes.
And then hit it. And that was with new bearings and new 99A Dogtown wheels. Right? So I'm going way too fast. So I did the wedge wally, I don't know. I want to say 5 times. Which is definitely more than 3.
Yeah.
Right? And I had to abort one time because I was just going too fast.
Abort mission, yes.
On 2 pushes.
That's pretty wild.
I'm going so fast I can't lift my legs up that fast.
Yeah, like it's danger zone.
Okay, so
how did it feel
when I just gonna talk about this one aspect?
Go ahead.
I dropped in and I said, well, what happens if I don't push at all?
Okay.
I was going too fast.
Still going too
I
fast?
still had to carve and carve
You slow down.
to cut a little speed so I
Oh
could
my
have a nice,
gosh.
pull my legs up
Yeah,
and do the
good dunk.
thing.
Right.
And I never pushed again.
You just pumped around the park.
I just dropped in and
you're
went
riding.
everywhere I wanted to go.
So sick.
I will say this. I don't know if it was Ben DeGrosse, but I've heard people don't like this. They're different.
They're built different.
They are built different. So here's how they're different.
Okay.
They are very quiet. They don't chatter.
Yeah.
They don't clatter.
It's like a Cadillac.
And when you clap them,
yeah,
they go dum 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 dum.
Like a bouncy ball or something.
Like a bouncy
ball. Yeah.
And they slide very well, but they slide differently.
Does it feel slicker once they let go?
It's smoother once they let go.
Yeah.
But they are not gone. It's not like they let go and you've got 100% slide.
Yes. What durometer are they?
They are 93A.
What?
Powell is using an A scale on those.
93A? But I thought they had a different formula that's like less rebound.
It is a higher rebound formula.
Rebound. Okay.
It's uncredible.
So I rode the 84Bs that somebody bought me one time, and I had the exact same feeling. I dropped into a bowl that I had normally skated, and I was like, wow, I need to cut speed right now because I'm about to hit the lip and fly out of this thing.
Okay.
And it was so smooth.
Okay.
Like quiet and smooth.
That is okay. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's sick.
Quiet and smooth and fast.
Yeah, it's like wildly fast.
A 93A wheel feels a certain way, and these feel like a 93A.
Yes.
A soft wheel feels a certain way.
Yes. But they're usually slow.
They're usually slow because they're soft enough to deform on the bottom.
Yes, right.
It increases friction
and
a whole bunch of things.
Yes.
So I've always liked a firm, hard wheel.
Yeah.
I also have always liked the clatter and the, I like the sound,
the screech
that they make when they slide. However, this speed issue, this speed improvement,
yes,
this is the only product in skateboarding outside of great concave, great kicks, and contour on a deck.
Yes.
That has ever directly, immediately improved my skateboarding.
That's so sick.
The only one product outside of great skateboard wood that has ever and this I can adapt to a board that's too flat or punky or like that, but these things they are going to ruin me for anything else. Now, I'm certain that Spitfire is going to come out with this as soon as they can get it made cheap in China.
Yeah.
I will never, ever recommend Spitfire because all Spitfire is finding out how to get it made in China, reverse engineering. They'll send.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Spitfire will do this, but what is usually done is they take a Dragon wheel and they put it in an envelope.
They just send it on.
Or they might put it in an envelope.
Okay, whichever one is.
Or in a box.
More convenient.
I don't know, Luke. It could be any one of those three different items.
Okay, got it.
Envelope,
box.
They send it to China.
Yeah.
China takes a core sample of it.
Yeah.
And they check the Earth's temperature by the different layers.
Do you think that they squish on it? How do they determine durometer? I have so many questions. Do they melt it down?
No, I think they squish on it.
Do they just go like this and they like maybe smell it and they just like determine? I don't even know, dude.
Bro, they might dissolve it in acids.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't care.
Well, I mean, what are the wheels even made of?
They might look at it under microscopes and say, does it have talcum powder in it? I don't know what they're going to do.
That's so fascinating. Maybe grind it down.
I don't know. Maybe they'll do all those things.
Well,
maybe they already know. Maybe this has been available for 25
and they
years.
Just didn't.
And it's, I paid $50 per set.
I'd pay $50. I'm going to get a set next time.
I'm
not
joking
amazing,
around.
Dude.
They're different.
Yeah.
But boy, oh boy, the speed on these things is
They're
just
rippers.
It was
super
good.
Sick, dude.
Was out there at the park.
Mm-hmm.
There was a kid there.
Yeah.
Don't say a kid's name.
Okay.
He's that super friendly kid.
Okay.
You know the kid?
Maybe.
He's young. He's like 11. His parents are often out there with him. He's got cool punk rock parents.
Oh.
Very cool people.
Okay.
And they're at that park for hours and hours.
Yeah.
He was out there,
Mhm.
and he's super gregarious, this kid. Outgoing kid.
Yeah.
And I think well-adjusted.
Good for him.
So anyway, this kid, I watched him do it 3 times. It'd be
Okay.
a little kid,
Yeah.
like a little tiny kid,
Okay.
like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old in the skate park.
On a scooter?
This kid beelines to it. No, yeah.
Okay.
This kid, on like a push bike,
Yeah.
this kid will beeline to that kid
Okay.
and say, "Where are your parents? Are you here with your parents?" He acts like kids have been wandering there from the neighborhood.
Like he needs to kind of
And
regulate
he's like
it.
the safety officer.
Oh, that's sick.
This kid.
So it's not mean. He's literally wondering, like, hey, where are your parents?
This kid gets it. And
Wow.
his parents are there, and I really like his parents.
Dude, that's
And
sick.
and they're super chill. They're like hippie punk rock,
Yeah.
just mileage on the chassis. And the dad is an old guy ripper.
Yeah.
And all the tricks he's trying are all tricks that I like,
Yeah.
and front side layback grinds and things like that.
Yes.
I love when they're there.
Yeah, that's
It's
so sick,
good.
dude.
And it was a real feel good. I really had a great time.
Dude, yeah, an 11-year-old kid checking on little kids to make sure they're okay.
That
dude, high fives.
warmed my heart.
Yeah, the very cockles of my heart are warmed right now.
Possibly the subcoccular region. So Dragon Wheels are they're a CapmLew double thumbs up.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
On the CapmLew scale, that's 2 thumbs, friends.
The only way I could revise this review is to add pinky rings. I mean, wow. No, there will be no thumb rings.
It's fine. Yeah.
So now then.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this mostly skateboarding podcast. You listen to it?
I listened to the first like 3/4 of it, and then they got into stuff, and I was like, eh.
So the topic is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I thought those guys did a good job as from within the Matrix.
From outside of the. Yeah, you're right.
Here's why. I don't remember the name of the, but it was basically about the talent in skateboarding being an industry.
Yes.
And don't they need like a what do they call it? A union.
Yeah.
Should skateboarding talent unionize?
Well, what's fascinating to me, and I can't believe I didn't realize it before, is but they were talking about the fact that these super high-level pro guys for surfing companies, snowboard companies, skateboarding companies are all contractors.
They are
1099 contractors.
So they kept using the term 1099 employees, and that's not a thing.
That's not a thing. Yeah.
That is not a thing. And anyone who is saying that, not these guys,
but
any employer who's calling you a 1099 employee, they are not understanding the nature of 1099 work. However, being talent, you can have a 1099 contract. It's event by event and things like that. It's totally doable.
No, absolutely.
But as 1099s, so the reason I'm pointing out this is because we got a comment that used the term strip mining.
Oh.
Do you remember a couple episodes back?
Mm-hmm.
We went ham.
Is that the one where I yelled, "That's fucking ridiculous"?
Probably is. Probably is.
I stand by it.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about the Kings of Town making themselves pro after they were am for a certain board company that Andy Roy doesn't like.
Okay. So and part of that discussion was about how we have an industry that's run by corporations.
Yeah.
And the skateboarders we're watching they're talent. They are male and female modeling.
Yes.
They are product endorsement.
Yeah.
And they are hucking themselves down stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I've been watching, and I see, like, I've begun to get disgusted watching the bro hugs and the high fives.
Oh, interesting.
Not because I don't love bro hugs and high fives. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. And I've spoken out in frustration about that.
Yeah.
I do. I love bro hugs and high fives in a certain aspect of the battle.
Yeah.
But the problem is when I'm watching, like, I don't know, like Rowan Zorilla or, there's a whole new crop of amazing super rippers coming out. And I'm watching them, and they're getting their bro hugs and their high fives. And they're not. They are going to blow so much of their mental focus in such a pivotal season of their lives
Yeah.
that they're going to wind up 35 without, I mean, a few of them get to be a Rick Howard,
Yeah.
or a few of them get to own a piece of the business.
Right. Or be a team
But
manager for somebody or whatever, you know?
most of the talent burns out and fades into nostalgia.
Yes.
Some of the talent can capitalize on some aspect of the nostalgia, but it ain't really that great.
Yeah.
But a lot of the talent gets broken.
Yeah.
They not only get broken by slams and injuries, without health insurance, without backing, without savings in their savings account, without financial planning, without any adult measures in place, okay?
Yeah.
They get broken by all of a sudden a tax bill.
Oh,
Oh,
dude.
we were talking about Antoine Dixon.
Yes. Oh, that's
Yeah.
yes, right. Yeah.
And we were talking about how opportunistic this industry is. That like, hey man, if you wanna spend all your best cartilage and spinal alignment on our brand, and you feel honored that we would ask you to be part of our damn them family,
Right. Yeah.
It's damnable.
Yeah.
This is a family.
Right.
It's always by unanimous vote.
Yes.
Oh, it's real hard to get in. I felt really honored
Yeah.
to
Right.
not have any prospects in my life past about 31 years old.
Yikes.
If I make it a long time.
Right. Right.
And then there's the party culture.
Yep.
That locks right in with the whole thing.
Yep.
And they're going to capitalize off of all your misbehaviors and all of your dissipation until you're used up. And then they're going to let you fall to the wayside like dead skin.
Yep.
And they're going to move on.
Yep.
And they're going to do it again.
Yeah.
And we get a comment on our stuff, and they use the word strip mining these young people.
Yep.
And it's true. And it's really, I don't know if the skateboarding talent industry population has the focus, the discipline, the wherewithal, the motivation to organize and really put the screws to it. Because here's what'll happen. They're going to fire a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, and there's 1,000, every single skateboarder alive wants to be pro.
Immediately, we've primed the pump with an endless hose that flows with nothing but people who've been ingrained with a corporate funded inferiority complex. Just please tell me I'm good enough at something to be part of something.
Yeah.
And it's very sad.
It is, absolutely.
It's very sad. But we can help by saying the things we're saying.
That's nice.
We can say, I think that corporate skateboarding is so far off the mark of ethics that they have transgressed morally. I think that corporate skateboarding has been committing a moral fault with how they have neglected common ethics of employment and investment into talent. Do talent agencies in Hollywood take young people and drink their lives away? Oh, yeah, they do. Okay, maybe it's not rare, but something not being rare doesn't make it right.
Yeah, I'm torn asunder.
Bring the balance, Luke.
I'm torn in two, because on the one hand, I'm hearing what you're saying and I listen to the podcast and I agree, like, oh man, this is really gnarly. You guys are going to 1099 a guy to destroy himself.
Yeah.
That means that whatever he makes.
Because they can.
Yeah, and because they can and everybody wants to, so you're going to 1099 him. He's going to be in an insane tax bracket if he's good enough to make a whole bunch of money. So let's call it 40% of his income is supposed to go into taxes.
Yes.
He doesn't have health care. All these gross things are happening and nobody's telling them. No team manager is sitting down, and maybe they are.
Well, that's what we don't know.
Maybe they are.
We need to approach this like that, to the extent that it's happening,
right?
Which is broad.
It is.
Well, we can say what we want.
Yeah, it's fine.
If I had a brand reach out to me and say, "Oh, we have a financial planner that we get all of our whole team together with a financial planner.
Oh,
we
man.
set them up,
that'd be sick.
and this, and we do contracts that are this way and that way."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "What do you want, a medal? You should put it in an ad." They should
Yeah.
put that in an ad for their
No,
own company.
I actually agree with you.
They should.
Yeah.
That should be ad copy in Thrasher. Hey, over here at, say, Crail Tap.
Right.
Or over
Creature,
here at
real,
NHS.
yeah, right,
Or one of
whatever,
these,
yeah.
right? They should be putting it in an ad and saying every NHS product, yes, it's made in China of mid to low pricing Chinese garbage, but we take care of our riders, dang it.
Yes.
You know? And that would soften up even my stony black heart.
I mean,
you know?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I would be like, maybe they do, is indicative that we're not in a great place, because they probably don't. I mean,
we can pretty much assume
yeah,
that the only one who would probably be doing anything like that would be Powell, who
Yes.
tried to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it succeeded. And the skateboarding talent itself might be problematic to the process. There might be some other sides to this.
Yeah, and that's kind of the other side of this coin that I'm thinking about, is like, bro, everybody has the responsibility for their own life in life. So if you don't be wise, don't be dumb. If you get offered what appears to be in a crazy amount of money, like 60 grand a year to ride for a skateboarding company, you might want to consider things like the IRS bill, and whether or not you have health insurance, and how long you can stay on your parents' health insurance. And maybe that's a lot to ask of people, but there is an aspect of personal responsibility that I can see it from the corporate perspective, that they would look at somebody and say, here's the deal that we're offering you. We're not putting a gun to your head and saying, sign at the dotted line. We're offering you a position. So think about it before you freaking sign it.
Well, and there's another thing, is this is people's dream. To be a sponsored skateboarder. That's that inferiority complex that the corporates have ground into us, and it's enforced at every level.
And maybe
if you're asking questions like that, you're not the real deal. You're not hardcore. You're not down. You have this, and maybe a clear thinking person. I mean, I can think of a few pros who also went to school and got degrees.
Yeah.
Walker Ryan.
Yeah.
Very talented. I mean, Walker Ryan strikes me as being on the Mark Suciu level.
Yeah.
High style, high technical capability, amazing skateboarder.
Yeah.
But he went to school. He got a degree. Like that was his lane.
I watched a Vice documentary. I can't remember the pro's name, but they were talking about a guy who was actively pro, and he had bought like 150 pop machines and snack machines.
Yes.
And he was making like 150 grand a year just on this little side business he was running. And I was like, man, that's smart. Smart.
I think it's great that Vice did that piece. Because it shows us what adulting looks like. Yeah. It shows us that.
What's crazy to me?
Lots of them have done it. Just publicize that. Those would be great articles for Thrasher.
That would be awesome. Yeah. So I listened to the podcast, from the Mostly Skateboarding podcast dealio, but I went and read the article that they were talking about from the New Yorker. It was like a magazine.
It was New York Magazine.
There it is.
Yeah, New York Magazine.
What was insane to me is that being a pro inside of the skateboarding realm is prestigious in reference to being a skateboarder.
Right.
But like guys who are pro, like surfers or pro snowboarders, like there's a lot more money generated in those industries.
A lot more.
So, and even those guys are in the same boat. The main story was about a surfer dude, can't remember his name, very prestigious surfer who got rocked on the reef, got swung down and hit and broke his shoulder blade and a bunch of ribs. And he didn't have any health insurance at all. And he said his sponsors, which speaks well of them to some degree, came in and helped pay a $40,000 medical bill.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
That's the right thing to do.
Which is sick. But skateboarding doesn't, I don't know. I can't say for sure that they don't do that.
We can't say that's never happened.
We can't, but I could assume, and within reason, I could assume that probably doesn't happen a lot.
Taking a dump on the skateboarding industry is one of my favorite things to do.
My favorite pastimes.
But we have to admit that it hasn't been covered. It hasn't been talked about.
Yeah.
Everything's been kept very closely. I remember when all the business stats got put behind a paywall in 2008, 2010.
That's fascinating.
Trans World Business used to put out a big report that we all read. Not everyone, but guys like me in the industry, we would read it.
Yeah.
And it got put behind a big old paywall.
Yeah.
And even before that, it was held really closely. These are private companies; they don't have to put their numbers out.
Yeah, right.
You know, and so we can't say that nobody's doing this, but what we can say is that you sort of framed it up.
Yeah.
It's like one of those caveat emptor, let the buyer beware situations. If you go in for a deal and you like the deal, then you went in for the deal and you got the deal.
Right.
If the deal leaves you high and dry according to its terms, then it's on you as a skateboarding talent,
right,
to decide that deal wasn't good enough. But it's almost impossible for a young person whose background is getting good at skateboarding and being told that you're good at it.
Yeah.
All the high fives and bro hugs. You know what that reminds me of? Is that term, love bombing.
Yeah.
Love bombing is a cult technique,
yeah,
to keep you attached to a coercive movement or a cult.
Yeah.
And I think, for a lot of young people, the right answer might have been, people who got sponsored as skateboarders, right? The better, more wholesome, more fruitful answer for life might have been to forego all that and invest your time and your attention in more worthy pursuits than being told you're good at something.
Yeah, or at least, like, if my kid got super good at skateboarding and it was his dream to be pro, at least have, I mean, it's a lot to ask, and some people don't have this, but I would want to have really candid conversations with him about what this meant for his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say, hey, man, I get it, and this might be a great opportunity for you, and if this is really what you want to do, then I have your back because I love you. Be careful, and we're going to talk about things like health insurance, and we're going to read through things like contracts, and we're going to make sure that you're getting a square deal on all this, because this is the kind of stuff that has a tendency to crush up on somebody's life real hard, Yeah,
those who listen to the podcast know that we've been discussing the public career of Cater Silla.
Yes, he's a perfect example.
We really care about this young man who's not that young anymore.
Yeah.
But watching him come up under Andrew Reynolds, Vice put out a whole thing about how Andrew Reynolds is ushering in the new wave of pros.
Yeah.
And he had that little rat pack of kids.
Right.
And bunch of them aren't in it anymore at all.
Yep.
And Cater has begun bouncing around from modeling deal to modeling deal.
Yeah, and it appears that he's kind of on his way out, I would say. Just from the interview that I listened to on the Bunt, the way that he was talking about skateboarding, it was very hard to understand.
He was like, I haven't even gone skateboarding in a long time.
Right. And he's talking about, like, they asked him, like, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, oh, I'd be sick to do all this down the Hollywood 16 or no, he was saying, oh, it would be sick to be this amazing pro skateboarder that everybody looks up to. And then they were like, well, what do you got down the Hollywood 16? He's like, I'm not touching that.
He's like, I'm not touching
that. And they're like, well,
and I don't blame him.
No, me neither.
But and we don't assume that he doesn't have wise people around him who are helping him to financially manage all that. Oh, no, wait. We do assume
based on the data.
We assume that he's surrounded by sycophants, yes men, who are very happy to harvest their piece of the pie, who probably have their own financial management and everything in place. And you're like, so we're tired of watching this happen. And so that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about the strip mining, and
I want to read this piece. I pulled up the article from the New York Magazine.
Yeah.
There's this little blip about Mark Suchu. They're talking about health insurance. I'm just going to read this little blurb here. It says, many pros stay on their parents' insurance plans until age 26. After that, the Affordable Care Act gives many Americans access to health insurance, but getting and keeping it isn't easy, and many athletes continue to ride uninsured, including those at the very top.
Yeah.
At the moment, I don't have any, says Mark Suchu, Thrasher Magazine's 2021 Skater of the Year, the highest honor in skateboarding.
Yeah.
At the end of 2022, my plan expired. I reapplied, and there was no communication from them.
That's right. They went silent on him.
In the meantime, Suchu relies on
Thanks, Obama.
Well, there he is. In the meantime, Suchu relies on a handful of physical therapists who specialize in skateboarding injuries. He too wishes brands took a bit more responsibility.
Well, he relies on physical therapy, so he has injuries.
It'd be great if sponsors paid for that, because they're sanctioning us fucking our bodies up, Suchu says, but it's cutthroat. We're all trying so hard to be recognized, and if we don't go for it, someone else will. Suchu is quick to add that he feels well compensated by his sponsors. So here, I have one.
So I immediately, that last piece sticks in my craw.
Yeah, that piece sticks, and the part above it, really quick, He says, at the end of 2022, my plan expired. I reapplied and there was no communication from them. I just want to look at that really quick. From my perspective, he's saying, I applied
To the government.
And there was no response to them. Okay. As an adult,
Okay.
you apply for health insurance and you don't hear anything from them. Have you considered Googling, like, how does health insurance work? Or have you considered applying?
You got to hunt it down.
Yeah, like,
you got to be an
this
adult.
is the very basic, like, adulting. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so you didn't hear from them. Did you try again? Did you call anybody? Did you ask a friend? Did you talk to your parents? Did you talk to your team manager about it? Health insurance is really weird. I'm not saying it's easy.
No,
I'm just like,
no,
dude,
man. I just smoked a bowl and went skating.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not putting that on Mark Suchu.
Me neither.
Way,
but I am asking, like, hey, isn't this just like super baseline adult behavior that you're not the victim if you can't figure out how to get health insurance? You know what I mean? It's really hard, and I love you, and I email us. I'm happy to walk you through it, but I'm like,
oh man,
dude, why not just try again? Like,
I don't want to do that.
I'll get on the phone with Mark and try to help him. Like, I get it. It's hard. I'm not trying to but there is a weight of responsibility that lies on a person's shoulders to try to figure something out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
I bet his sponsors appreciated that he didn't throw them under the bus.
Yeah, but he has all the reason not to. You know what I mean? Like, it's
or
trusting a used car salesman.
Or they were unhappy that he took the interview at all.
At all, right?
And that put his neck on a chopping block. He can't make waves.
Yes.
Rule number one, slap. I think it was slap or rule number one: don't talk shit on the industry.
There you go.
You know.
And the reason is it's cutthroat. We're all trying so hard to be recognized, and if we don't go for it, someone else will.
Yep.
Suchu is quick to add that he feels well compensated by his sponsors.
And that might be the case. He has good sponsors, but he's sponsored by well-moneyed companies.
Yeah.
But at what cost?
But at what price, my dude?
At what price? Because the price so far is that he has no health insurance and he's seeing physical therapists.
Yeah. Plural.
Yeah. Obviously, he's got plaguing injuries.
Yes.
When I go skateboarding, my rule number one is don't do something that you can't do.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
What's so funny is skating within what I perceive to be my limits.
Mm-hmm.
There are quite a few things I can do. The last time I went skating,
yeah,
I was very pleased because I felt comfortable and safe to do a couple of actually interesting things.
Yeah.
You know,
sick, dude. The power of the dragon came over you.
I continue to enjoy skateboarding without risking beyond my zone of discernible safety.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. And people would say, well, that's why no one will remember your name.
Right.
Well, my name is CapmLew.
Yeah.
And this is why people will.
Yeah.
Because we broke rule number one every episode. We're breaking rule number one right now.
Right now, baby.
Well, yeah. That's good. So I want to talk about Gifted Hater and the Bunt.
Yes, dude. What do they call their listeners?
Bunt holes and bunt wipes. This is where the level is. So I texted over to a friend of mine who is industry savvy.
Yes.
My friend will remain unnamed. I didn't clear this with them.
Okay.
But I said, you got to listen. I sent them a link to the latest episode of The Bunt.
The Bunt.
I said, you got to listen to this. And they said, what? I said, this is the number one skateboarding podcast. This is the podcast that the 9 Club refers to all the time in glowing terms.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, I lost so much respect for the 9 Club.
The Bunt is the gold standard in skateboarding podcast. Mostly skateboarding is too nerdy, too kooky. Yeah, that's word on the gritty streets. So anyways,
go ahead.
My guy.
Okay.
I got a text back.
Like immediately?
I got a text back and it was like, why did you do this to me?
Yeah, my brain hurts.
Like, I can't believe that this is why is Vans involved?
Yeah, I have the same question.
Why would Vance be involved with this, right?
Yeah.
And listen, the guys from the Bunt, I have every reason in the world to doubt that you'll ever listen to our podcast.
Yes.
But if you guys do listen to our podcast, we want you to know that we have affection for you as
Yep.
created beings.
Yep.
But your work on the Bunt lifts up so much vice in the lives of these young people.
Yeah.
That it's definitely criticable. And you push down
Yep.
on the degree of responsibility for intellectual and emotional development.
Yeah.
You all that the Bunt seems to want to do is affirm the corporate capitalization on the decline of the individuals who inspire us to ride skateboards. And I don't like it.
Yeah.
We don't like your podcast. We would like you if we could get in a room with you.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't like us. But you know what? We can
For
say
what
what
it's
we
worth,
want. That's
baby.
right.
Yeah, it's for what it's worth, man.
Yeah. So anyways, I did that, right?
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
I got to sit. I have a friend
Mm-hmm.
of the show.
Okay.
Big fan of the show. Actually a fan of the show.
Heck yeah.
He comes to my house last week. And we're just watching.
Yeah.
He's highly enthusiastic.
Yes.
About skateboarding.
Good for him.
And he sits down. We're just watching YouTubes, and so we watched. It's called something communication. It's a video series that the Gons put out about a year ago.
Oh, I do not know.
It's called not unauthorized communication, not ill communication. It's called. I think I might have.
I'll find it.
I didn't text it to you. So anyway, they're great. They're great videos. There are 4 of them out right now.
Yeah.
Underground communication, no. Anyway, we're watching through because he's learning about the Gons.
Okay.
Who is like just a gem, right? And so he's watching
Abnormal
communication.
Yeah.
That series, and so he's watching through those with me, and we're talking, and I say to him, hey man, I pull up, I say, I want to try. We watch a bunch of really great inspiring, and we watched an Epically Later that was linked in the Cincinnati area, and he got real bummed out.
Yes.
By that one, because he's trying to learn the lay of the land where he is, and I said, oh, watch this Epically Later from like 10 years ago, and,
right?
You'll get the lay of the land here.
Yeah.
So I pull up Gifted Hater's latest installment.
Yeah.
It's about skate fashion.
Okay.
In the first 7 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, this guy is well into his 40s.
Okay.
I'm 50.
Yeah.
But I've been in this world of so I'm meta.
Yeah.
When I watch Gifted Hater, he's doing what the kids see.
Yeah.
Kids his age, 20-something years old, right?
Sure.
He is a master of memes and collaging and setting up slides, and holy crap. So
sure,
he's got these slides going, and they're so packed with meme references.
Yes, dude.
Got the punch face seal. You've got all of these memes in there. And he's packing in, and he's talking about fashion, and then so my guy is beginning to look glazed over, and I paused it and I said, look, I'm meta about this. I'm interested in just familiarizing myself with this train of thought that just keeps going out, right?
Right.
But just hang in there with me. And he's like, okay. So I start again at 7-something minutes, right?
Yeah.
And Gifted Hater goes on this site. He pulls up Primitive on the one side, and he pulls up this site where it's just like a fashion plug and play site where you can get a Megadeth shirt or a Pokemon shirt, every licensed,
drop shipped,
just licensed and drop shipped, from China.
Yeah.
And he went and he picked 8 things from Primitive on the Primitive site.
Yep.
And then he went to see if anything like that was on this site.
Okay.
Right. And it was all on the site. And he postulated that it seems like the thing that's going on in skate fashion right now is that they've decided that the young skateboarding public is just so dumb that if you put skateboarding brand with it, they're just going to buy it.
Yes.
This is the only way to become a billionaire.
Yeah, right.
When a 5 million net worth is not enough for you, and you need to have $1.4 billion net worth.
Right.
So, okay, at that point, right, we get to like 20 minutes in, and my guy is completely fascinated.
Okay.
He's completely into it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, this is super smart.
Yeah.
Like, he crossed the Rubicon.
Yeah.
Like, he crossed in there. This was this
Yeah.
crossed the generational
Yes,
divide.
right.
My guy was cracking up. The
Sure.
gifted hater,
Yeah.
who is deep.
He is, man.
He's
That's awesome.
deep in the, like, is it millennial or Gen Z?
He's
or
probably Gen Z.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's younger than me.
Deep in that.
Yeah.
And my guy was just cracking. His gifted haters work on fashion this week.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
What was his like ending? Like, did he land on a position?
Yeah.
What was it?
They think you're stupid. They think you are stupid.
Oh man.
And their success is evidence of you being stupid.
Being stupid. Let me ask you this.
It was beautiful.
The items on Primitive's site, they were probably like hundreds of dollars for a t-shirt.
Yep.
And this drop ship spot, same
deal.
but like $20.
No, it was top end.
They were still just as expensive.
Honestly, it's worth a watch party. It's
Yeah.
really worth a watch party just
Sure.
to be amazed at gifted haters' intellect is high.
Yeah.
His intellect is really high.
Yeah.
His communication style is very profane.
Yeah.
Very
memey.
It's packed. It's packed with memology.
Dude, I'm telling you, that could be
is.
a PhD study. Memes are an incredible way to communicate. It's amazing. So
he's a smart cookie.
Was he saying it's stupid that people are buying it because they're so expensive? What was his? I don't connect the stupidity of the general skateboarding public to what he was looking at. I haven't watched the.
Well, you've got this idea that skateboarding is an awesome thing.
Okay.
And so obviously that would sell things you use for skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like, like wheels and trucks and decks and things like that. But there's also fashion. Like, we would like to wear the brands. I'm wearing a Skeleton Key hat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like those guys. I know a guy who was with them, and he's a friend from the time he was young, and so I was stoked, and I went and I spent, I don't know, $25 on a foam front, big, my favorite kind of hat, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Just so you can sell stuff.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
No, there's nothing wrong with it at all. And I like Skeleton Key because they branded on making copers.
Yeah, sure.
I love that. That appeals to the kook.
Yeah, of course, man.
The kook within loves that. And I don't want their copers.
Yeah.
But I love the fact they're doing it, and I think it's oddball and kooky, and that's fashion.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
I bought the hat. There's no problem at all.
Okay.
Right. But then you want to you have a brand called Primitive.
Yeah.
With Paul Rodriguez.
Yes. And
they're selling a Megadeth collab. Everything's a collab. Like gifted. They're all called collaboratives.
Yeah. Right.
So like, I have a ridiculous pair of shoes in here, an Anderson Paak.
Okay.
They're up there in a box. Anderson Paak Vans collab.
Okay.
My attorney bought them for me because he thought he thought I would think they were cool.
Dude, that's sick, man.
And I do. I think he's cool.
Yeah.
I think he's the sweetest dude in the whole world.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he has to have floated me $150 worth of free cigars.
Yeah.
Just sitting and having a cigar with him.
Yeah.
And talking about everything.
Yeah.
But Anderson Paak is an artist. He's a kind of a streetwear New York, Williamsburg hipster. Buy your custom chopper. Like trust fund kid bohemia. You know?
Right.
And I'm like, nah. I don't even think that Basquiat was that great.
Okay.
I don't think that Jackson Pollock was that great.
Yeah,
I'm just not that guy.
Yeah, right.
Andy Warhol. Soup can. You know what? I got to get the cash grab was right.
Yeah, yes.
Plus, I think the CIA was laundering money through that. Anyway, so
I agree with the hustle. Yeah.
So if you can get the CIA to buy your stuff,
good for you. Good for you.
I mean,
man.
even like the son of the president had a big art thing, and it's also money laundering. It's fine. Do your thing.
Sure.
But so I'm sitting here, and what Gifted Hater is saying is, he's like, yeah, but at what point does it become like and Ouroboros.
Yeah, like so meta that it begins to eat
At
itself.
what point
Yeah.
does it become able to be ridiculable?
Yeah.
You know, at what point is it ridiculable?
Yes.
And I think that there's a point of absurdity
Yeah.
that is funny.
They just jump the shark.
But then there's a point at which you realize this is okay. So this is absurd,
Yeah.
but nobody's pointed it out
Yeah.
for so long that it is no longer just an amusing absurdity.
Yeah.
It is possibly an evidence of societal and cultural and civilizational decline.
Yeah, because people are more interested in like being around the thing or being like representing like they're into the thing than they are actually doing the thing itself.
When you see so much simulacra, all right?
Is that a real word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Simulacra is a
Yeah.
term that refers to blue raspberry
Yeah.
being a flavor that children know better than the taste of a real
Yes,
raspberry.
right. The thing that represents the thing
And
instead
that
of the
when
thing
you
itself,
hand a
right?
kid a real raspberry and
You're like,
say,
"What's
"What is
this?"
that?" You say, "It's a raspberry." They say, "Why isn't it blue?"
Blue. Yes.
Where the
Yes.
imitation has replaced the original.
Yes.
It's a sign of decline.
Yeah.
It's a sign of anti-intellectualism. It's a
Yes.
sign of widespread negligence of intellectual development, emotional development.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of thumb sucking, bunch of well, he brought something up in it. He put up a chart
Okay.
and it was like Grom skill at Woodward. And
Okay.
he told a story. He said Grom skill at Woodward is way down.
Oh, interesting.
And he said Grom skill at he went to Woodward because he's a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's really getting there, you know.
Yeah. He's doing a thing, right?
He says Grom skill at Woodward is abysmal. He went out and he said whoever can 3-flip up the single step euro
Okay.
gets a free board.
And nobody could do it.
Nobody could do it.
Oh wow.
And he was shocked.
Yeah.
And he said that he had the kids doing parkour challenges and planking
Oh no, dude.
just to get
Oh no.
rid
Of the
of
skateboard.
all the free
yeah, just
stuff
get
that
it
he had
away.
brought with him
Yeah,
to give
right.
away promotionally.
Yes, right.
And
Right.
he said that this fashion thing he made a relation that was just sardonic,
Yeah.
satirical.
Yeah.
You know, he was saying the reason is because the pants are too heavy. The fabric is too thick and there's
Right.
too much embroidery and
Yes.
it's weighing down the children.
Yes, right.
He did a great graphic for it
Yes.
with the grid form black hole
Yeah, right.
and a kid wearing high contrast stitch, highly embroidered
Right.
big boy style pants.
Yeah, like collab with Primitive and Jinko jeans.
Right,
Yeah, right.
right.
Yeah.
And so, and he knows all the brands.
Oh,
and like
man,
that.
that's hilarious.
It's really worth a watch. It really is, and it's challenging because it's really thick with memology in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
But
That's so, I was affiliated with a certain indoor skate park at a certain spot, and we were talking about how to get people to come in.
mm-hmm.
And the guy who was running it was talking about the fact that the best way to do it is to run on hype, not on actual quality of the skate park or quality of ethic or quality of what we represented. Hype. Just hype. He was
Simulacra.
like, yeah, like Supreme. You know what I mean? That's what he said, and I was like,
so instead of being it,
yeah, we can
and behaving in a way that would cause
yes.
word of mouth.
Yes.
So instead of being it
yes.
and behaving it,
yeah.
and then
yes.
reaping the harvest
yeah.
of that,
low and slow. Yeah.
You just say it.
Yes.
You pay other people to say it.
Yes.
Which is gross.
Well, it's insane because like
it's not uncommon, but it's gross.
I also know of another guy, his business, he had a side business and he was making a lot of money for a long time. Essentially when Supreme would have a drop, it would be like a yes. Supreme branded guitar.
So he would get the
yes,
stuff
and he would resell it for like quadruple,
like 500% markups.
Literally, like he bought a Supreme Les Paul guitar or whatever for like $10,000, and he'd flip it for like $50,000 or something. I mean,
I knew guys who had. I knew a guy. He had 2 side gigs.
Yes.
One of them was he would get a pound of weed in the mail.
Yes.
Like every month.
Yeah.
And so he did that.
Okay.
And he took the money he had.
Yeah.
And he worked at the skate shop that had the Nike account.
Okay.
And they weren't supposed to do this.
Okay.
But they all did it.
Yeah.
And I think all of them did it.
Yes.
And he would buy like 10 pairs off the drop.
And he would
and then
resell.
he would resell them for
Oh,
like
that's
$500 a pop.
That's dark. Yeah.
And this is going on all over the place, and it's actually one reason prices get higher.
Yeah.
Um, it's unethical, and Nike would close an account for it.
Yes.
But they didn't. And then, come on.
Yeah, because they're selling shoes.
Well,
Yeah.
and also that shop was taking the Nike rep out to
Strip club.
Las Vegas.
Yep.
Every year they went for a whole bunch of time to Las Vegas
There
with
you
their
go.
Adidas and Nike and all those guys, and they
just greasing
took them out
palms.
there.
Yeah.
And hey, look, you know what? Caveat emptor. You know,
buyer beware, baby.
Buyer beware, baby. We look up to these brands way too much.
Agreed.
We listen to corporations way too easily, and we've been rewarded for it by people who didn't have our best in mind.
Do you think that
fight me,
bro, fight me, bro? I'm interested in your thoughts about why we're seeing such a, this proliferation of simulacra. Like why? Because it seems like it's happening inside of our entire culture. I'm really interested about, and I agree with you. I just don't know why. I agree that it represents societal decline. I just am not for sure in what way it's connected. I can feel it. It's like I can chew on it as a thought inside of my brain, but I can't connect it to its roots. Like why would because people they want to be in it, but they don't want to be about it. I don't know. It's an interesting idea.
It's that verse I can never find.
Jeremiah 6.
Yeah. It's the reason for it is the opposite of this reason.
Okay.
All right. The reason for it.
We'll describe it by describing what it's not.
Yeah.
I like it.
We really will.
Yeah.
It's in it's 6 verse probably 30 something. I'm in 6 now. I'm the guy. I'm the guy who 40s,
can't. Maybe.
I'm the guy who
44?
Can't.
No, it doesn't even go to 44.
No, but it's
Surely
here.
Not.
And it says, I got it.
17.
Stand at the crossroads and see, and ask for the ancient path, where the good way is, and walk in it. Then you will find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk in it. Also, I set watchmen over you, saying, listen to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not listen. Okay. People have become unmoored.
Yeah.
From deeper values.
Mm-hmm.
They've become unmoored. And the culture has become unmoored from basic ancient truth.
Yeah.
To the point at which they're willing to follow whatever wind of trickery gets blowing their way because they don't have an anchor.
Yeah.
There's no anchor down.
Yeah.
So people don't immediately view a braggart and a show off as that's not good. I'm not going to follow that person.
Right.
Instead, they just drink it in.
Yeah.
And people have become weak and they've become dumb and they've become followers of examples that they ought to shun.
Yeah, I think that's the connection we're looking at. It's the same reason why like video clips are going from like 2 minutes to 1 minute to 30 seconds to 15 seconds. We just want that hit, baby. We want the hit. We want the knowledge without doing the work. We want to be a skateboarder without doing the skating. You know what I mean? You
guys and me, we are under a program that fits the definition of the term brainwashing.
Yeah.
We've been brainwashed to be consumers, but we were all supposed to be creators. We've been brainwashed into being passive recipients of our entertainment and art.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be workers who produce and who make things. And we lift up as heroic examples and put on pedestals people who like building a Harley.
Sure.
Listen, man, this stuff is not brain surgery.
Yeah.
You could throw together a workshop and you could build a Harley for yourself. There's no reason to watch a documentary about some special kind of guy who builds Harleys. You should do it. You should just get one and run it, fix it, and ride it, and then but you don't go out and get a job because you're too busy following your dreams.
Yeah, or good health insurance,
right. And people are highly disadvantaged because of the passivity of being groomed into being consumers. And that's why Kids are swiping mom's credit card on a $150 shirt
Yikes.
so that they can, I guess, so their fit won't be mid. You know?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
and
it's a big problem.
we've lost the ability to persevere through the hardship, which makes the accomplishment so much sweeter.
Somebody's going to make fun of you because your fit is mid.
Yeah.
Well, I learned something when I was a kid, and this is going to be profane and a little angry and a little fearful.
Okay.
I feel angry and I feel fearful because I'm afraid for all of us
Yeah.
who would allow this kind of idea to affect our judgment.
Yeah.
And the idea is someone makes fun of me because my hair's not right or my clothes aren't right. And, you know, Lord bless you, but if you got to learn to say, fuck them.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
It's true.
you really do, man. You got to learn to say, man, I got to do me, you know, and
Thank you, but no.
and then go out and learn how to weld.
Yeah.
And make a whole bunch of money when you're young.
Yeah.
And save it.
Yeah.
Don't drink and smoke it away.
Oofta.
Save it.
Yeah.
And learn how to develop good relationships. Get your ass to church and get rooted in some deep ancient truth.
Yeah.
And learn how to live, learn to value wisdom. Learn to value it. Learn to want it. Learn to want it bad enough to seek after wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, learn to, it's weird. We have to learn to want to seek after things that we don't have that we needed 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, there are some heavy winds blowing.
Yeah.
And it's time to get based.
It's time to get based,
It's
son.
time to get based.
So true.
And people can't even tell their right hand from their left hand anymore.
Yeah.
And the success of these corporate garbage machines is an evidence that we as a people have lost our way for a couple generations. This sort of talk is like, whoa, what are you saying? You know, it's funny because I thought that when I said what I said, that you would then know what I was saying, because what I was saying
was
what I said.
Yeah.
But no, inevitable, an ocean of, what are you saying? Well, just hit that 15-second rewind, like 12 times, 16 times, and listen again.
Maybe get a notepad.
You're lost in the feed, homies.
Yeah, I really like what you said about being unmoored. I wrote that down.
That's a bad sign.
Oh, you ever been unmoored out on Lake Erie when the hurricane hits? You're inside the boat called the Edmund Fitzgerald.
It's not. This is where we. So Gifted Hater is he's really funny and smart. The Bunt is not funny and not smart, but they're both dealing with in different ways.
Yes.
The Bunt is affirmative of this slide.
Yeah.
Highly affirmative.
Yeah.
Gifted Hater is capitalizing on this slide for ridicule.
Yeah.
Which holds potential for transformation. Look who's with us.
Possible.
Look at who we got.
What?
We got Rocco.
What is it? You're
Why
literally...
are you crying, Rocco?
Why are you crying? You just got dunked on? You lit us.
He wants to be fed. That's what's happening right now.
Dude, you're such a baby.
Rocco, it's time to feed him.
We have to be careful because we got the 12-minute on top of the 57-minute.
That's right. Well, we're going to end. We covered, so in recap.
And
we covered the Powell Dragon Wheels Dagron.
Dagrons.
We covered the strip mining of these young talents in mostly skateboarding and the New Yorker magazine. And we covered my secret shopper's reactions to the Gifted Hater and the Bunt. And we have another guy, old Bob Lofton, who will never forgive us also for having sent him a link and asking him to listen to 4 minutes.
I think he got in like 45 seconds and just couldn't.
He hung in for a few minutes.
Did he really? Good for him, man.
He got past it.
What a butt was.
He got past that. Yeah, in the building.
Yeah. Oh, stop, dude.
In the building.
Oh, dude.
Oh, boy.
It's like being tortured, man.
Well, a big thank you goes out to Life Skateboards for helping us with our podcast and putting underneath our feet boards we can be proud to ride.
Indeed.
And that have great concave, great kick, great contour, great quality. They last a lot longer than the corporate propaganda pablum that you guys are getting tossed around by out there, and for only a slight margin more.
Yeah, come on, man.
And with such a better relationship to the people who actually make Call up Sam and Casper. Get
Yeah.
yourself 10 life skateboards. It should
Dude.
only cost you about $800.
You know what I was thinking? We should talk to Sam. I wonder, you know how some guys are like, use this code and you get 10% off.
He already talked to me about that.
And
He's totally down
okay,
to support the podcast.
yeah,
We just the infrastructure, is that what they call that?
infrastructure.
Yeah, it's just so much doing. And right now they moved the workshop.
Yeah, dude, good for them.
They're building out the new workshop right now.
Yeah.
Huge work is going on at Life Skateboards. We're proud of the work they're doing.
Yeah.
We're grateful they're the ones doing it.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh.
We've been of no help whatsoever.
Besides text, like, good job, Sam.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I gave out stickers at the park, you know,
come on.
and people clapped.
Wow.
Yeah, people clapped. I had those guys so hoodwinked. They thought I was good.
Yeah, they thought you were pro.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Quick side note, something important is that we're on Spotify. That's where you're going to get the best quality. It's going to be
the video.
You get the video.
Vidya.
You can also get the vidya up on the GoobTube as well.
GoobTube. Do you get the Spotify video on the GoobTube?
Yeah. It's going to be great quality
nice.
On the YouTube.
You know
and
what? People should subscribe to us.
Yeah, if you can, just go ahead and do it.
We don't have a fundraising capability right now.
We got 30 days. Free. Yeah, we're free now.
We're free right now. The thing you could do best for us is like whatever Spotify gives you to like.
Yes.
What do they call it?
Subscribe.
Subscribe to our
Smash
stuff.
that like button. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're on Apple as well if you just want to listen, and we're on Google Podcasts as well.
We're not on the Podbean anymore.
Get off the Podbean.
We're off the
Podbean. That was not a mistake, but man, it sucked.
Hey man, when you start something, you know, we had a lot of broken promises from a lot of grimy little companies. I found Podbean's interface to be grimy.
Yes.
They said we could video podcasts. We never got it to work no matter what we did.
That's because you had to have an MP4 file, and also you could only look at the video podcast on Podbean, which nobody uses. Like, come on, man. I'm very happy that Spotify picked up their game. We're able to be on there.
And what we used to pay $40 a month for is now free.
It's free.
And that probably means we'll get like super canceled.
Yeah,
probably like the guys from the Bunt will go on there and they'll report us for hate speech.
And they'll probably be listened to, and they probably will do it. So then find us on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then find us.
No, dude, you know where we're going to wind up?
Rumble?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, boy.
We're going to wind up on Rumble.
Oh, man.
Or we're going to be over there with all the right-wing extremists.
Dude. Us and whatever the Jones guy is.
Alex Jones.
Golly, dude.
Hey, maybe we're the Alex Joneses of skateboard media.
I'd honestly be proud.
Somebody. You know what's so funny? He was just on the Patrick Bet David podcast.
Does he look
That's
better?
A big podcast.
Is he still I thought he was still doing his show.
He does.
Good for him.
Well, I mean, I don't.
Is he still kind of like coked out?
No.
I hope not.
Okay, so he admittedly is crazy.
Yeah.
When you're listening to a guy like that, you have to recognize that a guy like that is a very important part of the media ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Don't get rid of those people.
No.
You want to, you know that saying like, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies even closer?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you try to eradicate bad journalists,
you're going to get eaten.
You create systems that will be used on good journalists.
Yes, and you eventually.
So very, very important to not deplatform and cancel people.
Agreed.
I am wholly against it.
Yeah.
I'm forthrightly saying I am against it.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm glad that Alex Jones is still kicking around out there.
Yeah.
He's as wild as they get.
Dude, he's
absolutely
insane.
Unhinged guy. And
the problem is that the 15% of the time that he's actually right,
or
like 50 maybe. I mean, could it be?
No,
you know what I mean?
Like 75% of the time. The guy is correct while he's doing it all wrong.
Yes.
he's doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
But what do you expect? I don't know about this sort of thing, and yet at the same time, I know quite a few things about this sort of thing.
Yeah. So.
And whether a person is a manipulative, controlled opposition type of person, whether there's an agenda there or this or that, don't get rid of your crazy people.
Yep.
Do not do that.
Absolutely.
You don't eradicate no one.
Yep.
Nobody goes away. Everybody stays in the mix, and we're all the better for it.
Yep.
So, CapmLew Podcast.
Hit us up on CapmLewQuestions@gmail.com.
That's right. We're certified experts in what our own opinion is.
Yes, in this moment.
And we can say what we want because
Yes.
this is our dang podcast for what it's worth.
For what it's worth.
CapmLew signing out.
Laters.